Oh, that ending. Just I love that song. I just absolutely love that song. The Eagles were an amazing band that wrote so many iconic songs, but that one stood head and shoulders above the rest. And it stood out in the time that it was written and performed. So just an amazing, amazing song. But you know what? It begs a bigger question. It gets me to start to ask deeper questions when it comes to music. So, what happens when an artist dares to remake a song everyone considers untouchable? Like maybe this song here, right? So, do we cling to the nostalgia of the original or get swept away by a bold new twist? Well, today we're diving straight into that battle between tribute and transformation, featuring two incredible cover bands, the Main Squeeze and the Reo Brothers. We're putting their different versions of the Eagles' Hotel California head to head. One stays true, the other bends the rule. By the end, you'll know exactly where you stand. Should a great cover honor the classic or reinvent it? Join me as we discover the answer together. It's an amazing song. It is off of their Hotel California album, The Eagles, from 1977. There's a lot of different interpretations as far as what the actual meaning of the song is. I'm checking on Wikipedia here, which is, well, we'll keep it loose as far as how valid it is, just because it's a community encyclopedia. But quoted here, Don Henley decided on the theme of Hotel California, noting how the Beverly Hills Hotel had become a literal and symbolic focal point of their lives at that time. Henley said of their personal and professional experience in LA, we were getting an extensive education in life, in love, in business. Beverly Hills was still a mythical place to us. In that sense, it became something of a symbol, and the hotel, the locus of all that LA had come to mean for us. In a sentence, I'd sum it up as the end of innocence, round one. And yeah, so lyrically, with that definition in mind, you can definitely understand a little bit more as far as what the Hotel California stands for. You've had some people that talk about, some crazy, crazy stuff. Anyways, why am I bringing this up? Because when you take on a song to cover it, the meaning of the song is absolutely essential, especially if you were going to change the song to make it your own or add to it your own flavor. You have to understand what the meaning is. And if it's not a song that's an instrumental, the lyrics obviously are there to support, or the music is there to support the lyrics. Therefore, you need to know what the lyrics stand for. So, this first group, the Reo Brothers from the Philippines, are really, 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 really good musicians. They're well known, especially for their Beatles covers, but they've covered quite a few groups. And I think most, their highest praise, I guess, is what I wanted to say, is that they spend so much time meticulously making sure that they sound exactly like the original song, whichever it is that they're covering. They are so good at that. That is their bread and butter. It's such an entertaining thing to hear because there have been songs where I'm, especially like some of those Beatles covers, where I'm thinking, is that the Beatles themselves? I mean, that's how good they get. So I'm interested, number one, in how well they come to sounding like the Eagles. And number two, let's highlight the fact that this is a band that plays the original true to it, to the original, what it's supposed to mean, what it's supposed to sound like. And I think that's an important thing because in this analysis that we're doing, we're talking about two different lines of thinking. The first line of thinking is that a tribute song, a cover song is a tribute song, and that you don't touch it, don't mess with it, I mean, don't change a thing because it means something, not only to preserve a creation in its original form, but there's that emotional connection that these songs have with people. And the time in their life that they discover it, what they're going through mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever the case may be, when that song makes a connection with you, it's there. That connection is eternally a part of what happens when you listen to that song again and again. You go back to there's songs that I like absolutely connected with in my youth that maybe I haven't listened to in a long time, and then I go back and I listen to them, and it not only does it is it the nostalgia, but it brings you to that moment where you made that connection. And if somebody comes along and severs that connection, it's a very helpless feeling. It's a very insulting feeling for some of us. And I'll talk about the other side of things when we get into the main squeeze, as far as whether it should be transformational or not. But right now, we're going to sit back and we're going to enjoy the Reo Brothers and their version of Hotel California. I did preview this a little bit, so I will let you know that this does not start out like the studio version. It starts out, I forget what year it was, the Eagles' 15-year reunion concert with that nice drawn out um, introduction. And that's okay because that's, to me, it's not a change. It's just that's what the Eagles did. They added to their own song, and that's okay. That's kind of a different horse, right? When the original band adds things or changes things up. But, anyways, let's get going with the Reo Brothers. Oh, I love that song. So awesome. Yeah, he's doing it with keys. That's all right, though.
She got a lot of pretty, pretty boys. She calls friends. How they dance in the courtyard, sweet summer sweat. Some dance to remember, some dance to forget. So I called up the captain, please bring me my wine. He said, we haven't had this spirit here since 1969. And still those voices are calling from far away. Wake you up in the middle of the night just to hear them say, hey, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely face. Living it up at the Hotel California. What a nice surprise, what a nice surprise. Bring her all alive. Mirrors on the ceiling, the pink champagne on ice. And she said, we're all just prisoners here of our own device. In the master chambers, they get it for the feast. We stab it with the stealing knives, but they just can't kill the beast. Last thing I remember, I was running for the door. I had to find a passage back to the place I was before. Relax, sit not man, we are programmed to receive. You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave.
you go. There you go. Okay, so this one, we're going to make a slight shift on this, okay? Because this was that version from the reunion concert, and that one was absent Don Felder. So Joe Walsh took on the entire guitar solo. If I remember correctly, it's been so long, but I don't think Don Felder was um, in that concert. So what they did here is they replicated that version of the original to a T. I mean, this was like spot on. And it kind of makes sense because, oh, and I forget all of their names. RJ, I believe, is the one who was on lead guitar and vocals. And then I don't know who was on the acoustic guitar. I forget his name, but um, Glenn Fry, that's Glenn Fry would be strumming the acoustic guitar in the original as well, or that version of the original. Excuse me. So you didn't, they picked the song, the version of the song that was appropriate for them for the amount of manpower they had. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. And they played that without error. Okay. There was a slight difference in the vocals, obviously, because you cannot replicate Don Henley's vocals. He has such a unique voice. But what I did notice that RJ was doing is the emotional inflection on how Don Henley sang the song was very, he emulated him very, very, very closely. And this is what I'm talking about, that attention to detail, that respect for a piece of work that's already been recorded and done. Okay. That's such an important thing. And for me, it is that version of the song that grabbed me. It's not that I had not heard that song um, prior to this version, but my musical world as an adolescent, as a teenager, as a young man, was ever changing, ever evolving, and music was like a buffet, like an all-you-can-eat buffet. You spend some time here, then you spend some time there, and you spend some time there, and you just enjoy all of it. And during that time, I was definitely into other music, but then because of that, it started to become a little. My taste became a little more refined, and at some point, which is right around the time the Eagles did this reunion concert, is when I started listening to the Eagles and not all of their stuff, mainly greatest hits and that sort of thing, and then diving a little bit deeper. But that's when it started to become palatable for me. And I really, really was like, wow, this is amazing. And then, always listening to Laser 103 down in Milwaukee. You hear the, Hotel California come on. And then one day I come across the reunion concert with this amazing, amazing intro that just made it make sense for me. And all of a sudden, wow, this was like the version of the song that I loved the most. So that being said, we're still dealing with a true and faithful representation of the original artist's creation. And again, look what I just told you. I'm remembering when this happened, why this happened, all of this stuff. And the only reason that's going to happen is because I heard it exactly the way that I first heard it, the first time that I made that emotional connection. And that's why it's so, so very important to me that you don't mess around with a cover. If you're going to do it the way it was supposed to be done, the way that it originally was done. However, however, because I am a walking mass of contradiction, just like all of us are, there's a part of me that does enjoy hearing covers that are more interpretive, that are more transformational, that give it a little something extra. And that's a tightrope for me, because what happens is if you take it too far and it's barely recognizable, then that's just like, it spoils it for me. But if you are able to take certain things and say, listen, I want to emphasize this a little bit differently, or I want to change this to make a little bit more of an impact. If you can salt and pepper it, okay, that way, and create the right mixture of new flavor onto the dish, then that not only talks about your creative process, your integrity, your respect for what came before you, your desire to keep things intact, yet give it a little bit more of a fresh flavor to maybe even attract more people to come along and enjoy eventually the original, just like you did. So there's some things to be said about that, but it has to be done right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on over into listening to the Main Squeeze and their version of Hotel California, which will be different, and we will discuss that when they are done playing. All right. Now, what I failed to mention, I apologize. The Reo Brothers' version of Hotel California was uploaded 5 years ago onto YouTube. The Main Squeeze, theirs was uploaded 4 years ago, roughly around the same time period. Not that it matters, but I know it's important to some of us to know that we're listening to bands who are playing the same song, hopefully within the same time period, similar ages. I don't know if they are similar ages. They do look like they might be, but anyways, it's about the music. So here we go, the Main Squeeze. Yeah, already a difference.
On the dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of colitas rising up through the air. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. I had to stop for the night. There she stood in the doorway. I heard the mission bell, and I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell. Then she lit up the candle and she showed me the way. I heard the voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely face. Clean your room at the Hotel California. Any time of year, you can find us prisoners here of our own device. And in the master's chambers, they gather for the feast. They stab it with their stilly knives, but they just can't kill the beast. Last thing I remember, I was running for the door. I had to find the passage back to the place I was before. Relax at the nightmare we are programmed to receive. You can check out anytime you like, but you can't never leave.
Oh, we got some extra footage here. Such a lovely place. Hotel California. You can find me anytime. and that's so nice to watch the behind the scenes and see how much fun they were having. Just doing a little rehearsing, just getting themselves a little bit more practiced on it. Yeah, so this was very interesting for me. The vibe and the feel of it was a little bit more reggae, a little bit more Latin than the original, and the introduction. Okay, so that was the one that was like really sort of had me teetering. Like I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but then they kicked it into the when the rhythm when the drums came in and it started asserting itself um, as the original. You know, you started getting that feel like the original had, though there were still differences. So let's just start with that intro. The keyboards, coming in and taking over some of the guitar parts. That was most noticeable. But the most noticeable was the way he was singing it and the feel, the way they musically altered it. You still had the harmonic structure there. He still had the arpeggios on the guitar were there, but the feel itself, the way it was executed, the way that it was played, the timing, the feel of it was completely different and way different with the way that he sang it. It was almost sort of this R&B on top of this reggae Latin reggae, just really loose feel. And at first I thought, are they going to make this into a love song? Because he's singing it like he's romantically singing. He was just putting that kind of feel to it. And then all of a sudden it kicked into the main meat of the song. And the identity of the song started to assert itself. Yet there were still differences, and especially with the guitar solo, where you don't have two guitars, you've got the keyboards that are taking the place of one of the guitar, changes sound a little bit, and then of course they made that more of an extended jam session, and gave it a little bit more. So here I'm not reminiscing when I'm listening to this version. I'm not identifying with those things that brought me to the song in the past. What I am doing is I'm vibing with the feel of the song. And I think that's a lot of people like that. They like to do that. They like to just, it ultimately is about the emotions and the feel and where you are at as a human being, what you like, what resonates with you, what vibes with you. Definitely a fresh and more modern interpretation. And it's one of those that I can enjoy it. I can enjoy it for what it is. I can enjoy it for the work that they put into it. I can enjoy it for the signature that they put onto it, but I can't put it up against the original because the original is such an iconic song. And that's the other part of this. When you're changing a song and you're covering a song that is so ingrained in a cultural in the culture, a worldwide culture, okay? Uh that's like that's a beast that you better do it right. Not to say they didn't do it right. Um, if it was a different song, if it was like, let's take another Eagle song. What if it was "Take It Easy," which is still a popular song, but it does not have, the popularity of Hotel California. Okay, or "The Girl from Yesterday," I think is the name of the song. Um, Whatever, just another song that's not as well known. I think then it becomes a little bit more palatable to say, okay, take this one and take it apart and reconstruct it in the way that you want to, and let's see what you can do with it. So that's another thing that plays into it, and it's one of those. I'm not going to make a decision as far as it has to be a tribute or it has to be a transformation. This is merely a display of two different ways of doing it, and a discussion or a monologue, at least at this point, as far as where I'm sitting at with these things. Now, because this is sort of a versus reaction, I'm going to go with the Reo Brothers just because I really do lean heavily towards being a purist when it comes to cover songs. But that does not take anything away from the main squeeze. I mean, his voice is phenomenal. And I think the reason they changed it so much is not only because of their personality, but because the way he does sing. Uh, Maybe that feel they wanted a little bit more of, and so they sort of restructured the song a little bit around the way that he sings. I don't know. I'm guessing. But anyways, you guys feel free to comment in the comment section below. I will link both of the videos in the description box below. And forgive me if I'm stumbling over my words. I'm getting over a concussion. That was the injury that I had, and I'm sort of coming back to life and getting back into what I need to do here. But anyways, I wanted to present this to you, see what you have to think, what you have to say about should a cover be a tribute or transformational. That's all I have, folks. God bless you. Jesus loves you. Thank you so much for spending time with me. And I will talk to you in the next video.